On Nationwide this evening, it's a site that has attracted large numbers of Irish people from the 32 counties. And now they're being joined by lots of foreigners who are coming to pray and spend time at this County Mayo shrine. We join the faithful on pilgrimage to Knock. Good evening and welcome to the International Shrine at Knock in County Mayo. This is a place of special significance to people with faith and those with no faith. Since 1879, millions of pilgrims have made their way across to this historic, venerable site. And today I'm with the Archdiocese of Armagh, who are being led by the Primate of All Ireland, Archbishop Eamon Martin, who are following in the footsteps of the 15 witnesses who are reputed to have experienced an apparition here 136 years ago. That vision is replicated in the Apparition Chapel, and the altar there captures the scene of the images they claim to have witnessed. Whatever our views today of those documented reports of an apparition here all those years ago, millions have come. An apparition is a difficult thing to explain. It's complicated in our modern world. The happenings in this County Mayo village continue to attract over 1.5 million people every year. To accommodate those numbers in a more comfortable and welcoming environment, the shrine is undergoing a multi-million euro facelift. Phase 1 was the Basilica. Mary Fanning went to see how this modernisation plan is working.
The International Shrine at Knock hosts over 1.5 million pilgrims and tourists every year. It's grown and grown. But the team at the shrine, led by parish priest Father Richard Gibbons, wanted to refurbish and modernise the Basilica. The refurbishment is part of what the Knock Shrine call the Witness to Hope programme for the future, and Phase 1 has seen a cold blue austere building turn into a world-class facility.
It was aimed to be that, because Knock is the National Marian Shrine. We're an international shrine, and we're a shrine that welcomes people from all over the world, and we want facilities here that represent that as well, and to meet the needs of the modern pilgrim. And that's comfort, that's heat, that's an atmosphere of prayer, and that is conducive to simply bringing people together to encounter the Lord.
The facility here at the Knock Shrine covers 100 acres, and this summer will see hundreds of thousands attend for the annual novena. 5,500 people turned up for Mass on Vocation Sunday in June, led by the Bishop of Meath, Dr. Michael Smith. The team at Knock have an ambitious plan. The Basilica is just part of their modernisation, vital to the future of the shrine. And in spite of scandals that have blighted the Catholic Church, they see new beginnings in a very rooted place.
We conducted a survey of all the people that came and visited Knock, our parish, pilgrims, everybody, and what came back were 3 things. Promote yourselves. Please offer something more to the people in terms of renewal of their faith. And thirdly, please do something with the Basilica. So we took those 3 elements and we formed them into Witness to Hope. And while the Basilica is the most obvious and the most expensive, obviously, but it's the least important. What's the most important is to meet the needs of the pilgrim that's coming in terms of faith renewal, in terms of encouragement, and also, and I think, in terms of maybe using that awful phrase of turning that corner in terms of people, in terms of the Church's life in the country.
During this Mass at the Basilica in Knock, you really get to see behind the scenes. The work of the team ensuring highest service and quality, like any good production. Everything has to be right, and the musical director is one busy woman.
Glory to God, glory to God, glory to God in the highest.
The sacristans are working flat out behind the scenes, preparing hosts for Holy Communion, helping priests robe up, and during the Mass ensuring that pilgrims receive the highest quality service.
There are 5 different chapels here, and there can be things going on in different chapels at different times, and sometimes you can have something going on in them all. So there are 5 sacristans here employed full time to do that job, and it's very much involved, like getting the altar prepared for the Masses or for benediction, or Eucharistic adoration or whatever is going on at the time. And there's a certain procedure for doing that so that nothing gets left out and everything runs smoothly and seamlessly here throughout every ceremony.
Everything runs like clockwork. The Basilica refurbishment translates into a very spiritual and comfortable space to allow people pray, reflect, let go, and perhaps lose themselves in their spirituality. The man behind the mammoth task of providing the new seating is very proud of his work. Irish Contract Seating is based in Leitrim. It's world famous for its church furnishings, and their massive undertaking ran in tandem alongside the refurbishment of Longford Cathedral.
I'd have to say it was the proudest day in my life to walk in and see the Basilica totally seated out. We would have worked on the individual chapels during the installation. It was only until the hoarding came down and we saw the 5 chapels together that you got the sense of what we had actually achieved. Some mornings I'd wake up and have to pinch myself, just wondering if the project had actually been completed on time. There was a lot of sleepless nights.
The sheer volume of people visiting Knock is testament to its popularity. But what about young people? Has the church scandals damaged the International Shrine in any way? And why do people still come?
We have people that come and they say, I don't know what took me to Knock today. I just felt that I needed to come here. I haven't been to confession for 20 years, I haven't been to Mass for so long, but I felt that I needed to come today. And they get that sense here that they're simply welcome. There's no judgment. There's nobody, you have to go to confession, you have to go to Mass. You're left to your own devices to a certain extent. There's loads of help, loads of friendly advice, all of that to meet whatever need or whatever state you're in.
After Mass, pilgrims process with their banner to the original apparition site. And that scene is replicated in the chapel, with the original stones from the gable end. People touch, they feel, maybe hoping for a miracle, maybe hoping for peace, looking for answers to questions, or just to say, thanks Knock for being there. However, with this ambitious plan to further modernise, would there be any hint of a papal visit to Knock again?
He'd be most welcome. We'd welcome him with open arms, but no, I haven't heard nothing in relation to that yet.
Well, you never know, it might happen. Well, what is happening here during my visit to Knock is that the pilgrims from the Armagh Diocese are being led by the Primate of all Ireland, Archbishop Eamon Martin. Archbishop Eamon, how significant is Knock in terms of the international scene?
Well, I think as well as being a fantastic centre for national pilgrimage and prayer, Knock is increasingly becoming well known throughout the world. I think that was particularly helped by the visit of Pope St. John Paul II in 1979. But in fact, Knock's international reputation goes back way before that. I think it was in the 40s that Pope Pius XII first showed an interest in Knock, and then successive popes have done so as well, and we've had many famous people come here like Mother Teresa. And I think that now we're increasingly seeing, as well as individual pilgrims coming from all over the world, we're actually seeing organised pilgrimages from other countries to Knock. I suppose in Ireland many people have such a fond affection for Lourdes and Fatima, and Knock's on our own doorstep, and sometimes you don't think of it as being as significant, but theologically Knock is particularly significant because, as well as highlighting Our Lady, the Blessed Mother, it also highlights the Eucharist with the altar and the Lamb, St. John and the Scriptures. So it's particularly theologically significant, and you see that in the writings about Marian apparitions throughout the world.
And in terms of apparitions juxtaposed against our modern world, iPads, technology, how does it appeal, or how can it be expected for young people to believe in apparitions?
Well, I think when we do live in an increasingly scientific and technological environment, however, as you know, people realise that life is much deeper than that, and people are indeed interested in mystery and things that just aren't totally explicable by normal means. I think young people in particular coming to a place like this during the year and finding peace and quiet and a space for prayer, I think it's a great place to have in Ireland, and I hope that it continues to grow and develop in years to come. I can remember coming here with my family when we were going on holidays to Galway from Derry many years ago, and for us, oh no, we have to stop at Knock. But yeah, but you know, as a young person, you say, oh, we have to go and pray. But actually, as years went on, I found myself, when the big bypasses were built from Knock, I found myself turning off the fast highway to find that place of quiet and prayer. And when I was a clerical student studying for the priesthood, Knock was very significant because for me, my devotion to Our Lady is something that's very much part of my spirituality. I think a lot of it goes back to my own mother, who encouraged us to say the rosary at home. And throughout my life as a priest, I've always felt that Mary is my heavenly mother, looking after me and guiding me as a priest. And whenever it came to the time that I was being ordained a bishop, one of the things a bishop has to do is to choose a coat of arms, you know, which will be on all of their documents and will be their seal. So for me, I actually chose the scene at Knock to be part of my coat of arms, and the part I chose was the lamb standing on the altar. So I also have that actually on my episcopal ring.
Oh my goodness.
I would have the lamb at Knock with the cross behind standing on the altar and the M for Mary.
And if you were to sum up the mystery, the appeal of Knock, how would you do that?
I think in the words, witness to hope. Because when Our Lady first appeared here in Ireland, it was to a people in distress, to give them hope and to lift them out of the drudgery and, I suppose, the problems of the day. And I think Knock can still do that for people. It can witness to hope.
All you men, help them change and grow. You nourish them with your love and...
Now, the shrine here at Knock is a major destination for pilgrims not only from Ireland but from across the water as well. And later this season, Knock will host the first ever pilgrimage from New York. They will be passing through the Ireland West Airport, which is part of the facilities associated with the shrine. And after the break, we'll be finding out more about those facilities. We'll see you in a few minutes. You're very welcome back to Nationwide. We're at the Knock Shrine in County Mayo, where today pilgrims from the Diocese of Armagh are being led by the Primate of all Ireland, Archbishop Eamon Martin. Over 1.5 million visitors come to Knock every year, and there are fantastic services available for them. Mary Fanning has more.
The International Shrine at Knock is worth several millions to the local economy, right along the western seaboard. The development of the airport by the late Monsignor Horan has opened up a corridor, a gateway for business and enterprise. And who can forget this historic moment when my former colleague, Jim Fahey, asked the famous question.
Monsignor Horan, what exactly is going on here?
What do you think is going on? We're building an airport, and I hope the Department of Transport doesn't hear about it. Now, don't tell them.
Knock Airport now enters a new era, with 7 local authorities expected to make a significant investment and become part owners of the County Mayo International Facility. This will erase a €9 million debt and secure its future. The village of Knock is upgrading. It enjoys a thriving pilgrimage season. It has an international hotel, a lot of bed and breakfast facilities, a camping and caravan site, and is full of souvenir shops.
Knock has evolved from that day in August of 1879. The Pope's visit here in 1979 was a huge significance for that centenary year. And now with the revamp and the renewal that we're seeing with the Basilica being done up is great. I think there's something, for people to come back again, and we'd hope to see there will be more than 1.5 million visitors coming here over the next number of years.
The Knock team was ahead of its time with ancillary services. Within the museum complex is Café Le Céile, always busy and always in demand. The museum captures the unique and compelling story of the Knock apparition.
In 1879, 2 people from the village were walking by the church when suddenly they witnessed an apparition of Our Lady, St. Joseph, St. John. They also saw an altar, a lamb and a cross. It lasted for about 2 hours, and over that time about 15 people came to view it. They were called from the local houses. And shortly afterwards there was a commission of inquiry set up, and in recent years, it's quite amazing, we have discovered some of the original testimonies, some of their handwritten testimonies, which people can see as part of their visit to Knock Museum.
Reaching out to young people and providing facilities for families during their visit to Knock has seen the development of the hub.
During the summer we run the Kids Club. So kids over the age of 5 can come with us. Mum and Dad can go to the ceremonies, they can go for a cup of coffee, they can go for reconciliation. And while the kids are here, we do the gospel of the day. We have prayers, we have fun, games, colouring, singing, and they just, I suppose, go away having had a good experience of Knock.
Yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord.
And the Knock Shrine has a charming children's choir.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
There are 5 chapels in the Knock Shrine complex. The Chapel of Reconciliation is a favourite place for many to reflect, get some downtime, and get away from the rigours and demands of modern life. Just off the chapel is a fully serviced counselling drop-in centre, and Knock was way ahead of its time starting this many years ago. The service is open to all faiths or none.
The counselling centre was developed, I suppose, from a single session listening service that was established in 1998, and then in 1993 a counselling service was set up. And like all the other areas that you've mentioned, is preoccupied with the prizing and the respect of the individual and humankind, and that's absolutely what we're about recognising and validating people as people of worth.
A pilgrimage to Knock is never complete without a visit to the gable end of the Apparition Church, where the original story of Knock began in 1879. To enhance that experience, the Knock Shrine provides a prayer guidance centre where a team of people will actually advise you on how to pray.
I think prayer is very powerful. I think it's amazing. I don't think people fully, I think it's underestimated really. And I think that what we do, we pray with little scripture passages as Sister Mary was doing there. And I think sometimes people think that the scriptures are just a book that was written 2,000 years ago, and they don't really realise that it can actually resonate with their own lives.
The International Shrine at Knock covers 100 acres, and there are over 20 departments involved in the day-to-day operation. The Witness to Hope programme is looking to the future.
We have come through a very difficult time in the last number of years. We are changing the structures within the system for the last 6 months, and will do so for the next 6. We are happy going forward that the generosity of the pilgrims will make sure that we will be well able, self-sufficient and of sound standing to help us going forward with the Witness to Hope programme for the next 100 years plus.
And there you have an impressive lineup for the future. Well, another aspect of the wonderful facilities here at the Knock Shrine is the impressive St. John's Care and Rest Centre. I'm joined now by Tom Neary, who is the Chief Steward here. You've been doing it for more years than you care to remember, and you are in charge of the procession to the Apparition Chapel.
Yes, well, we look after the ceremonies in general, but I suppose the procession is a very important part here. Pilgrims like to walk in the procession, they like to be part of it, and especially if we do the route which takes us around the Calvary, they seem to like the little bit of penance. But it's always interesting and colourful and prayerful, and it's, as I say, just one of the many ceremonies that we organise here on a regular basis.
And it seems to work very seamlessly, Tom.
Well, that might be due to the fact that our society is 80 years in existence at the moment. We're celebrating 80 years this year with special events, and for that reason I think we're anxious to do it particularly well this year. But we have a lot of experience, we have a lot of people who are with us for years, and it's not new to them either, you know. Well, I think we've always kind of prided ourselves on the fact that we try to create a prayerful shrine here. It's a shrine that has been always associated with the family, very much with the children, the parents coming, and there is prayer. It's one of the things I think that marks it off from many of the shrines, that it's not a noisy place. Generally, it's prayerful and spiritual.
Now, the procession that Tom Neary talks about and helps organise normally takes place outside, but because of the bad weather today, the Rosary of the Five Chapels is taking place here inside the Basilica, as you can see behind me.
I haven't been here in 23 years, and it was part of our lives always as children. The first time I came here was probably 4 or 5, here for Holy Communion, confirmation, secondary school, and then when I got married, the last time I was here I was actually pregnant 23 years ago, and I have been here since, so I just came back with my mother and my aunt.
Every year, once a year we come, my sister-in-law and myself.
So how long have you been coming here then? Would you care to put a number on it?
I suppose we're 15 years, 16 maybe.
I love coming here. It's a lovely peaceful place, and you feel good when you get home after coming here.
I come to pray here and pray for everybody sick, and I get great comfort in it when I come here.
What is it about the place?
It's just the legs of it and the blessings of it is great in my life anyway. You know, and I enjoy it immensely. I look for coming forward here 3 times a year.
Knock to me is a special place. We come here, this is our 5th year of a parish pilgrimage from the parish of Clonoe. And it's a holy place, and we have the Archbishop to lead us, and especially now with the refurbished Basilica, it's a place we can come and enjoy the comforts. Before the Basilica was cold, but now it's a warm spirit, so we look forward to coming here every year. We look forward to organising the pilgrimage and coming to Knock. It's a special place for us and a special place for the parish.
I came down to see the Bishop of Armagh today, and I love it. Nicest place I ever came down to see.
Great stories there from some of the people who've come to the shrine here at Knock. As you can see, they're all on their way home, and whatever your views about the church or faith, you cannot but be impressed by the fact that the shrine here at Knock continues to attract large crowds. And if you've never been here, then really you should come here and see it for yourself. And so we've come to the end of this evening's Nationwide. We're back again on Wednesday with another programme, and we'll see you then. On next Wednesday's Nationwide, she's described as the undisputed queen of Irish gardening, and today her garden in Dublin is a spectacular riot of colour. We visit Helen Dillon at her home and of course get a peek at her garden.